World Cashew Convention. I am Shruti from cashewinfo.com. With me, Brou, Managing Director, African Cashew Alliance. I welcome you to World Cashew Convention, sir.
Thank you.
RCN processing is picking up in Africa. Thanks to consistent efforts that AC along with the stakeholders has done, and sustaining this momentum is going to be the next challenge. How are we planning for this?
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Foltel Group for the opportunity to inviting us here at this convention, World Cashew, first edition of the World Cashew Convention. As far as the ACA is concerned, the African Cashew Alliance, for us, how do we sustain and how do you build the cashew industry in Africa is one of the reasons why we are in this business, because our vision is a globally competitive African cashew that will benefit the value chain, from the producers to the traders, the processors, all the way to the buyers and the end consumers. So we will work on making sure that the supply chain is strong and grows so that it can feed the system, but we will also make sure that we create value addition in Africa so that it impacts the very people who are engaged in the cashew industry. And that is the reason why we have developed a number of services that we offer to entice the producers and the traders to now go into processing in Africa.
ACA is advising prospect on technology choices. Like, based on your experience, do you see any preference for a particular technology, like a semi-automated, fully automated, or manual? In your opinion, what would be the best technology for processing in Africa?
In Africa, because this is a very young industry, and there is not enough knowledge around for people to be managing large-scale factories, we've always recommend that people go for the semi-mechanized factories. And the reason is very simple. The cashew business is a business of scale. So you need to have a minimum scale, in order to be competitive. Therefore, to go with a manual factory will be counterproductive. We do not recommend small or very small factories. We would recommend small to medium-sized factories so that people have the time to grow with the factory, to learn the skills, and then be competitive. Usually we recommend technology that is easy to use, easy to install, easy to maintain. From our experience, those who have that kind of flexibility, equipment from India and from Vietnam. So we usually recommend those. We think that there are also newcomers when it comes to equipment manufacturers, such as equipment from Sri Lanka, China. Those are new generation of equipment that are coming and which seems to be also working. So again, the industry is young. We are testing those equipment. Only times will tell. Within the next 3 to 4 years, we will know if those are adequate equipment for the industry. But definitely, we will go with semi-mechanized factories, and as the industry grows and people have more skills floating around, we can shoot for the large scale, the 10,000, 20 or 30,000, Brazilian style, large scale.
In processing technology, would high level of mechanization would be better, or it should be manual?
It has to be the middle way, because as you know, the fully mechanized will produce a lot of broken pieces, which is saturated right now in terms of market availability. There is too much breakage from India and from Vietnam. And so we recommend semi-mechanized, which will mean that there will be a limited amount of broken pieces, while at the same time we can process volume, because if we go manual only, we cannot process volume. So it's a right balance, I think, for the African industry at this stage of its development.
Your core agenda is adding value to the cashews in Africa.
Right.
Like, how do you engage in this thing?
We engage in this at many levels. First of all, we have an advocacy program where we try to educate the national governments about the importance of the cashew value chain in their countries. in supporting the various players, the processors, the producers, so that they can have some sort of support in going into this business. Secondly, we have also developed a number of services, to technical services that we make available to ACA members, so that we can help them train their factory workers, their factory managers, and also to address the issues of food safety, traceability, social standard in labor, so that there is no child labor, no prison workers in factories. All of those issues that can be addressed so that there is no issue with the market when they go compete globally.
So we'll discuss about the financing the value chain. Two sectors, two important issues are there: access to financing and cost of financing. And you have rightly pointed out that banks do not understand the cashew sector. It is a highly risk, and nobody can convince the banker better than yourself. How ACA is proposes to address the issue of financing?
So on that end, I have to surprise you and say there's a lot of money floating around. The issue is the financial institutions, because they do not understand the value chain, they do not commit. They have no appetite to lend into that sector. If you take the cocoa sector, for instance, millions, if not billions of dollars are lended every year in that sector in Africa, because there is enough transparency in that sector for people to be confident enough to lend. In the cashew sector, it's a small value chain compared to cocoa right now. There is not enough transparency. It's not well organized enough for the bankers willing to go in and fund. Therefore, ACA has gone to the extra steps of training the bankers about the value chain. Let them understand what is the value chain all about, what are the various segments within the value chain where they can actually support in financing. They don't have to finance the entire value chain. They can finance segments where they feel comfortable. And also, we need to educate them about the potential, the opportunities within that value chain. Where is it? And for instance, today there is a strong need to invest in equipment manufacturing, technology, building factory warehouses, so that the processing can take place in Africa. So there is a huge potential for that, and we need to just walk them through so that they feel confident. Because we have the knowledge, we can share that with them, and this is what we've been doing, and we're now starting to see some interest on the part of commercial banks and social funds like Root Capital, Grassroots Business Funds, Responsibility, and many others, Triodos, Oiko Credits, for instance. All of those social impact funds and commercial funds are also interested now to finance and support the cashew value chain.
I request you to give a few words for our delegates.
Well, I think first of all, I'd like to say thank you once again to the organizers of this convention, which I think is fantastic. We've seen a great attendance from all over the place. We as ACA are also very happy to be supporting this event. We organize ourselves every year a conference which attracts the same level of people. So we can see that our customers are also here, and so we're happy to meet them here. And we believe that we can work hand to hand in making sure that the value chain benefits from those kind of conferences. The one here in Dubai with Fortel and Cashew Info, and the one that will take place in Africa with the African Cashew Alliance each year in mid-September. And we are almost ready to announce the location for our conference in Africa, and we will be very happy to see the Fortel group participate in this convention as well. And I really want to thank you for the opportunity, and thanks all the participants in this great convention. It's fantastic.
Yeah, what's your expectation for upcoming World Cashew Convention in 2016, sir?
I accept the even greater number of attendants. I think this has been great. We would like to see even more participants from Africa coming in. We've seen a lot of participants from India. We would like to see a little bit more of participants from Vietnam, for instance, and China, and other Asian countries, because we believe that these are new emerging markets, and the value chain will benefit from it. So it's not just the India, it's not just about Africa, it's about the whole value chain. So we very much like to see that next time.
Thank you so much for spending time with us, sir. Thank you.